God's wisdom stands strong. In a busy little village near a rushing blue river lived a boy named Silas. Silas loved to build things. He had books full of drawings and a head full of ideas. He thought he was the cleverest builder in the whole world. Silas wanted to build a bridge that would make everyone say, "Look how smart he is." Silas showed his plans to his friend Selah. "I will build a bridge out of colorful silk and thin glass," he boasted. "It will be the fanciest thing anyone has ever seen. It doesn't need heavy stones or deep roots. My cleverness is enough." Selah looked at the rushing water and then back at Silas. Silas began to work. He spent all day tying silk ribbons to small twigs and placing glass along the muddy bank. He didn't want to listen to the old stories about how the river could rise. He believed his plan was too bright and too beautiful to fail. Selah sat nearby on a giant mossy rock that had been there for 100 years. She felt the strength of the stone beneath her. She knew that the river followed a path created long ago. "The water is very strong, Silas," she said softly. "Perhaps we should look at how the great builder made the mountains." Suddenly, the sky turned the color of a bruised plum. The wind began to whistle through the trees, and the first drops of rain fell. Silas scrambled to cover his silk bridge. "No, no," he cried. "My clever plan must stay dry. I worked so hard on this." The rain poured down, and the river began to grow. Selah ran toward the bank and reached out her hand. "Silas, come away. The water is rising too fast," she shouted over the roar of the storm. Silas grabbed her hand, leaving his silk and glass behind. From the safety of the high hill, Silas watched as the river swept over the spot where he had built. In a flash, the silk was tangled in the trees, and the glass was buried in the mud. His clever bridge was gone. Silas felt very small as he watched the powerful water. When the sun finally came out, the village looked different, but the giant, mossy rocks were still there. Selah walked over to Silas, who was sitting by the receding water. "My plans were just like the silk," Silas whispered. "They looked pretty, but they couldn't stand the storm." Selah pointed to the distant mountains, their peaks shining in the fresh light. "The great builder's wisdom is like those mountains," she said. "No plan can stand against his way. When we build with his truth, we build things that last forever." Silas took the stone from Selah's hand and smiled. He realized that God's wisdom is the strongest foundation of all. From that day on, Silas didn't just try to be clever, he tried to be wise. He knew that while human plans may fade, the truth of the Lord stands strong forever.